So if he couldn't make it out there, then I have to agree with y'all to say what the hell are you thinking? Because you got a lineman that can't play lineman. That's a problem.
Exactly.
That's a
I'd
problem.
also like to bring up the names Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates. What did he really think he was getting out of Ryan Bates?
Okay, so Ryan Bates. This is where my problem with Ryan Poles is his ability to fall in love very easily. And so,
I agree with that.
if we know the backstory, he tried to acquire Ryan Bates his first year as the GM, and the offer was blocked by the Bills. The Bills took only 1 year to realize that blocking you and still not giving him a total long-term deal was the right move, and thus, because you loved him the year before, not paying attention to what Buffalo did with him, you opted to go ahead and get him again because, as we know, Ryan Poles feels as though late round picks sometimes he can give those away for people in the league already who are a bit more developed. But the problem with that is some of those players might not ever develop, and you overloved instead of scratching a new lottery ticket. So that may be my flaw, like wholeheartedly with him, is that you do get a bit infatuated, and that's a bit of a Ryan Pace syndrome, if you might call it that, because he saw Mitch in him. That's why I want my GM, if he's retained totally, to seek new eyes on offensive linemen in terms of his scouting department and the wide receiver department. I need you to get your eyes, or whoever eyes you got on it, tell them to close them, tell them to walk away, and go get 4, 6, 8 new eyes, whatever, how many sets they go get for this particular niche. I need you to go get other people because he falls in love with the idea of lineman in the eyes of him, and he wasn't a good lineman. I think you need to get rid of that, bro.
Okay. I don't disagree. I mean, I listed all my good. I think all the bad is definitely valid thus far.
The problem I have with the bad, the biggest thing I have is the contracts, because now they have a bunch of money again. Now you can't whiff on this round of contracts. You can't whiff on the second year. Your contract, whatever free agents you bring in, they have to hit. One of your linebackers is playing awesome. The other one, not so much. So that's another contract. And that's on the other side of the ball. We didn't even discuss that one.
And that's true.
Like, hey, one of your linebackers is a stud. The other one, we might have got you. So
and once again, and I know he's speaking on the bad, but you just gave a very interesting introspect into contracts, because while we talk about all the bad contracts that he's giving out, we just talked about next year how much cap room again he's going to have because of the way in which these contracts are structured. So while they may not be the best ways to spend your money, we can in some ways assess that he's been able to pull the plug and not sink total decay into everything that costs too much money. When it costs too much money, he got rid of it. See Chase Claypool for details. Even if it's a sunk cost. No, Roquan, you traded Roquan because you didn't want to sign Roquan. Sunk costs are people that you paid money for, you ain't getting a return on them. You made a prudent decision for yourself on Roquan simply because of TJ Edwards. If not for TJ, then you get double criticism because Roquan is flourishing and you have a linebacking core in disarray. TJ Edwards saves you from that, and because of his bargain contract, we can gloss over the big $72 million deal that he gave to Tremaine Edmonds. So I think it kind of washes itself. But had you not signed TJ Edwards, and you base that on love again because he loves Illinois football and Illinois players, and by that I mean people born in the state and bear-centric type old players, you got lucky in my estimation because of his passion for Chicago and his base to get TJ Edwards to level out there. Otherwise, I don't know who else you might sign, and it might be a totally different situation. But the way in which you structure contracts, and I think the way in which you kind of balance other things out, gives me hope on a lot of fronts. I say that because while I may agree with you on the Swift signing and Montez in terms of money, I have to always understand that in this league especially, it's always a market value of sorts, and certain positions render themselves subject to the next man up per se, or real close to it. And so I understand that you may have paid a bit of a tax on Montez. I think your due diligence is going ahead and to get other things on that line to fortify it and make it a bit better for him as far as the complementary pieces. And I've heard it from different people in terms of sports persons this year that even if you're not a quote-unquote superstar, but you are an exceptional and highly above average player, i.e. Montez, since you don't have that next level in terms of the Myles Garrett factor, if you're not 100%, he doesn't give you last year where you lead 2 teams in sacks. He gives you this year, or like you say, his means or median at 90%. And so while I understand that he needs to be a bit more healthy and explosive, because you gotta give me something for that bread, I think next year it's more imperative to fortify the rest of the line to kind of help him out, because he ain't that good, if we want to be realistic about it. And to have him be keyed in on and be the focal point of a line when he came from being with Jonathan Allen, Jonathan Payne, Chase, whatever his name is, because he ain't that good, but he's good enough. You had a decent line to not put all the focus on you. I'm gonna give you and everybody else who's signing you a deal this year, to try to figure out if they can get from under it. Because if not, I think we have to go into the worst portion of discussion, and that might very well be what we call the ugly. If you don't get some of them things right that you talked about in the bad, ultimately, ugly things happen. And so my question, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. I got a quick question for you guys.
Go right ahead.
This is just a quick player evaluation.
Rabbit hole me.
Now, if I give you a player that had 32 tackles, 5.5 sacks, what do you think?
32 tackles.
What's position?
5.5 sacks.
32 tackles, 5.5 sacks. Is a defensive lineman.
The DN? Is you talking about? Are we talking about?
Is that somebody like? Would you guys like that?
Yes, because
Montez?
a D. No, I mean I think I know where he going, but a D tackle. I don't mind 5 sacks from my middle.